Good morning, you badass motherfuckers. It's the All On Me, the morning drinking show. I'm your host, Greg, getting back on this motherfucker once again. Getting back on it again, aren't we? We doing life, motherfuckers. Good morning. Welcome to all you new arrivals to this game called life. We talking all that real life shit here. I'm hurling truth bombs at you, F bombs at you, all kinds of shit. But we talk about real life shit. We talk about the deep shit, right? And we doing life around here, right? Life ain't doing us. Maybe. Maybe life is doing a lot of you. Life can, man. It's ups and downs, ain't it? 1 minute we doing life, and the next minute life's doing us, right? We can admit that, right? We can admit that sometimes we just check out, right? We just check the fuck out because life's kicking our ass, shit's happening, and guess what? It's psychological, ain't it? Ain't so much of the things that's fucking with us. It's psychological. If you really pull back, right, and you think about what are the things that are fucking with you right now, what are the things that are throwing you off, right? Is it that you broke your leg yesterday and you're like, dang, I'm not gonna be able to run the marathon I plan to run this year? Is it shit like that that's throwing you off, or are we talking about psychological things that we're making up in our heads? 9 times, maybe even 10 times out of 10, it's the shit we making up in our heads that's messing with us. It throws us off. These minds of ours are complex, right? Because we're complex, right? We're not a tree. We're human. We have intelligence, and we have a lot of power inside of us, right? We have the power to be self-destructive, and we got the power to be a self-rescue team, right? To take ourselves to a better place, a better reality, a better circumstance. And it's not easy. It's not fucking easy, man. Shit, it's not easy. Even me, right? I put out a post yesterday, a lot of vulnerability. I'm up here at the ranch, Ojo Mystico, man. I love this place, you guys. God, I love this place. And because there's so much space, right? There's an abundance of space, of peace, of quiet, right? Even the land, it's so beautiful. And it's a gift for me to be able to have this, to come here anytime I desire. And to know that this has been a place where I get to heal a lot of shit, man, that I got going on inside of me. And I hope that you can find a place where you can heal the shit going on inside of you. Because we all got shit going on inside of us, right? Like, I don't know. If anybody's exempt from the shit going on inside of them psychologically in 2023, with the way the world is, the divisiveness, the social issues, the politics, I mean, it's wild and crazy, ain't it? It's wild and fucking crazy, man. Y'all freak the fuck out when this guy, you got opinions with me getting in the river. That ain't shit. Look at the shit going on in this world right now. Crazy shit. Real crazy shit. Right? That's just me getting out of my comfort zone and knowing that it strengthens my mind, right? It does wonders to my body. And it's just an incredible experience, right? To be able to know that something's hard, something's challenging, and then to still do it anyways. It's a powerful thing. And so the other day I went to the hot springs, and it was really interesting, the encounters that I get at these places, just anywhere I'm doing life. I know that it's never an accident when I run into people. Especially when people ask me questions, when they're hitting me up, I'm just minding my business, meditating, just, enjoying the life, right? The soak. And then people are like, they have to interrupt, right? They have to ask a question. There's something on me. There's something about me. They need to know, who is this guy? And I had that question the other day. It was very challenging, right? If someone asks you right now, who are you? Who are you? What's your answer? Who are you? Yeah, you, right? Watching this. Who are you? Do you know? Do you know who you are? Right? Because that's really what propelled for sure this message, right? It was coming out of 21 years of marriage expiring, right? In a peaceful way. It's not what I didn't have the typical, like, I guess the stereotypical idea of divorce, which is like warfare, battle, and all this shit. No, it was pretty peaceful, man. It was pretty peaceful. There wasn't need for that, man. There wasn't need to drag it out. We were two kids that fell in love and grew apart, right? And we realized that. And there was a lot of tension there. And it's been for the better. But here's the thing, at 41 years old, I'm 44 right now. I woke up at the beginning of that process, at the end of the relationship, but the beginning of starting over. And I had to ask myself, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Right? Am I Gregory Scargall? Most of y'all think, yeah, but then even that's not me. That's not even my birth certificate. It's fucking crazy. So I'm like, who am I? I've always had a little bit of identity crisis. I'm just going to preference this conversation with you. If you're getting on here saying, well, what is this guy? Who is this guy? What is he talking about? There's still part of me that's very much trying to figure that out. If you got you figured out, if you know who you are, which I know you don't, right? I know you don't, right? Some of you will just say, well, I'm a child of God. Okay, that's great, right? That's great. If you can just wrap your whole identity in that, everywhere you go, then you're good, right? Just carry on. You're good. Dismissed from class, right? Because there's a part of me that can say that also, right? I'm a son of God. I'm a son of the Most High God, right? But yet there's still something else. Like, where does that even come from? What does that even mean? What does that mean? What is the meaning behind even just something so profound as God? And who is he? Who is Father God? What is all that? And how am I his son on this earth, suffering with all these other motherfuckers? So again, you just don't know. So I woke up saying, who am I? 41 years old. And for sure, my name came up, all, like the spiritual bullshit. We put shit out there, right? Just to end it. Because like, that's what I see so many people use spirituality, religion for, is it's just to end it. Because you don't want to have to really think beyond even that. Because even that is so profound for you to really fucking understand what you're even saying. It blows your mind if you're being honest with yourself. It blows your fucking mind because you're like, dude, how, what is that? We're spinning around, you guys. Think about it. If you look out the window right now, I see mountains, I see valleys. I'm in a national forest, right? 21 acres. I mean, that's this piece, but it's expansive out here. I'm in Carson National Forest, and it's just so expansive. There's mountains and there's rolling hills and stuff, but overall it looks somewhat flat, but we're on a fucking sphere, right? We're like 7 billion, 8 billion people on it, and we're going round and round and fucking round and round, 19,000 miles per hour, round and round. Not like 1 mile per hour where it's like nice and slow and we can just kind of chill. 19,000 miles per hour, we're fucking spinning on a ball in the middle of space, and then it's spinning around the sun, and then everything else is spinning around every fucking thing else, and somehow I'm able to sit here with a sense of stillness, right? And yet I understand all this shit. So who am I? Who are you? If someone was to ask you, who are you, right? What's your answer? Is it just some thing that you just been telling yourself? Or are you truly willing to try and discover more about who you are? And that's what I'm getting to. So even though whatever you're defining yourself as right now, today, any age, right? Are you willing, even at that point, to try and discover more about yourself, right? And what am I talking about? What are the 4 aspects I talk about the self, right? Mental, emotional, spiritual / energy, and your physical self. These are the parts of us, right? We have a mental self, we have an emotional, right? Which is the feelings of the body. The mental is the thoughts of the mind. The spiritual is like this energy, soul thing that's going on here. And then it's the physical, right? Just this body, the aches, just the body, the physical strength, power. And yet the reason why I know you don't know who you are is because regardless of where you are in life, there's an area where you could grow. You could expand into a even better version of yourself, regardless of where you're at right now. You could be 89 years old. Most of y'all ain't watching this. Most of y'all in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, right? 60s saying, I'm old. But here's the truth is we don't know who we are because we don't know who we could become. We know who we are right now. We know whatever you have created, right? It's the sum total of all of your experiences thus far, right? You are the sum total of all the experiences you've had, all the bad experiences, all the positive experiences, all the negative experiences, all the, right, amazing experiences. Everything right now is all of your experiences added up. And this is what you equal, right? And yet, if you want to move forward in life and you want to do it in a way that is like, we have this potential inside of us that so many people, right? I think I'm called to try and unlock this in you motherfuckers, to try and wake people up, to untap your hidden potential. Because here's the thing, you identify with who you are right now, sum total of all experiences thus far, right? But the power of the human experience is, regardless if you consider your situation good, bad, or somewhere in between, if you truly had something, right, that triggered you to want to even go above and beyond your current experience, man, you don't know what you could become. You could become the greatest president of the United States, the greatest politician on earth, the greatest humanitarian, the greatest business innovator of all time. Like, you just don't know the hidden gift inside of you, right? If you have yet to truly unlock who you are at the deepest levels. And what I know is that I talk to so many people day in and day out, week in, week out, not just here, as I'm doing life. And everything is externalized, right? Most adults, right? Most, not all, most have yet to truly figure out how to develop a relationship with themselves and truly understand that in that relationship with self, it's not a selfish thing, but it's really where you get to figure out who you are and why you're here. Why are you here? Why are you on this planet right now? Is it to be a mom? Is it to be a dad? Is it to be an hourly worker? Right? Is it to be someone that tried and gave up and just settled? Right? Why are you here? Right? Or is there something even greater? Is it like the hero's journey? Right? Right? From fuck up to, incredible breakthrough. Right? It's like Rocky. It's like that. We all love the hero's journey when people literally go above and beyond. And take themselves from a very dire, challenging, rock bottom situation and then totally turn everything around, right? And yet in this society, we're all the critic, we're all the judge, right? Because that makes us feel better about ourselves, right? If no one's shining the light on us, no one's holding us accountable and really keeping an eye to see what we're doing wrong, right? It's easy for us to point and look at what other people are doing wrong, and then we feel good about ourselves. Well, I'm glad they're getting that attention because they're fucked up, and I'm either not going to get caught or I'm not that type of person. Because I don't think any of us really look at ourselves and say, I'm an evil person. And I think that's what messes up so many people in wanting to truly know who they are, right? That's where we stop, right? This is where this gets real talk here. Most people stop wanting to discover themselves when they get to the shadow work. They get to the dark side, right? Because it's so easy to dig in and say, hey, all the good things that you've done, right? Because we want to feel good about ourselves. Most of us lack self-confidence. So it's like you got to even be able to be appreciative of some of the good things that you've done, big or small, right? It takes a lot. It takes a lot for you to do that. Trust me. I mean, my therapist used to chew my ass out all the time saying, dude, you focus so much on the negative shit that's going on in your life. You need to give yourself credit. You need to stop. And if you're going to sit there and fucking brood over something that didn't go your way for a week, be in a mood. Does anybody know what it is to be in a mood for a year, 6 months, weeks? Not just a day, to be in a fucking shit mood, right? For an extended period of time. And then you think about something good happening. I had something really good happen yesterday. I was super excited. Man. And I can tell you that it only lasted for a short while. I was like, yes, woo, just fucking kind of my own little celebration, happy dance, and then it was just kind of back to default, back to normal. But when something bad happens, God, man, we get our heart broken. Somebody lies to us. We get an accident or just something negative, that really throws us off happens to us. God, our minds don't let us stop thinking about it over and over and over. We keep hitting fucking replay, repeat. And it sucks. And so, again, in order for you to get the upper hand on this game called life, you got to, really start to understand how this mind of yours is working and what it's thinking, right? And then how to have more conscientious input on what your thoughts are. Because if your thoughts, this is a crazy statistic, 60 to 70,000 thoughts we have every single day. 60 to 70,000 thoughts you will have today. Guess what? 90% of those thoughts that you're going to have today are repeats from yesterday, right? So the same way that I tell you what you eat today is how you feel tomorrow, how you're feeling today is based on what you felt and what you ate yesterday, but it's also what you were thinking yesterday. Your thoughts are planting seeds for your tomorrow. So what you think today is how you're going to feel tomorrow. Same thing with the food. And that's why I put this program out there, because it really covers, 5 aspects of life where you can truly, in a conscientious way, start to improve how you are taking care of yourself. That's It's All On Me. Is saying, I am going to improve how I take care of myself. It's not this selfish mindset, but then maybe it is. Maybe we need to redefine what being selfish is. Maybe selfish is saying, you know what? I'm going to put myself first, because if I put myself first, that is going to give me an opportunity to become the best version of myself. And as I become the best version of myself, because I am investing in me and I'm doing things different, right? then of that, I can then choose to unconditionally pour into the people I love and care about in a way that is not feeling forced, not feeling like I have to do it. I'm doing it because I want to do it, because I truly care about these people. But there are some people that you truly care about that literally just by you being around them on a regular basis, it keeps you living at lesser than what your fullest potential is, because it's what you're comfortable with. It's your complacency. And it's even because there is a connection that has limiting beliefs that hold you back, right? And a lot of us don't want to, a lot of us will justify that. Well, that's just who I am. That's who I come from. Great. Great. It's your life. You do whatever the fuck you want to do. I just know there's a lot of people living this life that aren't living this life and can't really figure out why they're suffering so much. Why do I know this? Because that was me, motherfuckers. I was like, why do I feel so out of control with my emotional state of being? How come people that I love dearly, in my hardest of hearts, in my mind and in my heart, I love these people, but then something happens with my interaction with these folks that triggers me to where something that causes me to hurt them, cause them pain, do whatever. I lose control. And then I'm left feeling even worse, right? And then it's like I got to go make amends for all this shit I did, right? And a lot of it was based on addictions, right? Constantly having a need to be drunk, get high, right? Getting outside of just a sober state of being, which is truly plentiful, is very plentiful. It's more than enough, because I truly believe whatever the habits are that we have, whether we have a habit for indulgence in alcohol, drugs, sex, relationships, food, right? It's like, it's all based in making us feel better about ourselves. But ultimately, most of those things will never make us feel better about ourselves. And that's why I keep getting on this platform and sharing this message, because I know people, right, are marching through their madness, right? It's madness. That's what we're talking about today, is the madness that is in our heads. It's not March Madness, watching, other people's kids play hoops. These aren't your kids. I guarantee you almost very few, zero of you are related to any of these young men or women playing hoops right now, right, at the collegiate level. And yet, what are you doing? You're cheering on a team. Maybe it's your alma mater. Okay, so you got a little skin in the game because that's the school you went to. Most of you, that's all bullshit too, right? And so, but yet you're giving of your time, right? And yet that's your most precious thing. We hear it all the time, right? And you tell yourself it enough to know time is your most precious thing. And if you want to squander it and waste it cheering on people you do not know, people you are not related to, right? Because it is part of your program, it is part of your habits, and you're an adult, and that's how you want to celebrate, and that's how you want to use and invest your time, right? I believe it's a waste, because I used to be there, right? And I realized that my life started to get so much better because I didn't have time to do that stuff no more. Because I would rather go and do something for myself today than sit around and watch fucking start to finish fucking other people working, other people exercising. I would rather go on a hike. I'm gonna go do some rock hounding today. I'm building a beautiful, like incredible labyrinth. If you know what a labyrinth is, it's gonna be huge. It's like 30-foot circumference. This is a big labyrinth. So I've been gathering rocks and I have like some really sweet spots I've been going to. So I'm gonna go do some rock hounding. I'm gonna work on the labyrinth today, right? It's investing in me. It's investing in my dream. It's an investment in my future, right? And that investment directly benefits me. I'm winning every time I go do this. there's nothing that I win by watching someone else score a basket, right? Block a shot. I don't gain anything from that other than an emotional stimulation that is totally psychological and it's not direct, right? Because I didn't block the shot and I didn't shoot the hoop. So what is it? This is all mental fuckery. It's madness. It's true madness. And I think that it's by design. It's by design that people have been programmed, right, to disconnect from themselves, from their true purpose in life. That putting in work, putting in effort, even if it results in some failures and some setbacks, that's the process. I mention this a lot on here, right? Thomas Edison took 2,000 times to create the fucking light bulb. How many of you guys benefit from having lights? I got a candle right over my shoulder. But trust me, I love light. I don't think we would have solar power. I got a light in front of me, LED, and I got a fucking candle behind me, right? How many of us are dependent upon that, right? It took that dude fucking 2,000 times of failures to get it right. I always laugh about this. I used to tell my 4th and 5th grade class about this shit because they would get so beat up when they got a math problem wrong. I'm like, dude, get it wrong, but just continue the process of trying to solve the problem. Failure doesn't mean you're a failure. The other day I was at the hot springs and this young girl that works there, she had her nails did, right? And she was on trash duty, right? So they asked her to go fix the trash. And I'm very social with most of them. They see me there all the time. So, hey, what's up, mister, this and that. And I seen her and I just saw this look on her face where she was like, the trash was like in disarray. And she was like kind of disgusted by it. Like, I don't want to touch it, with her nails. Like, it's dirty. And I said, what's wrong? Here, I'll help you. Come here. No. She wanted to go get someone else to either help her or do it. She just needed help. And I said, come on, let's do it. We can do it. And I got it and I just kind of started with her and then she finished the job. And once she finished it, I went in and I said, did you think that was a dirty job? Did you think was that dirty or what? She's like, yeah. I was like, but here's the thing. Doing dirty things doesn't make you dirty, right? Failing doesn't make you a failure. Are you understanding this shit? Right? When you do a dirty job, that doesn't mean you're a dirty person, right? Because that's why there's soap. Go wash your fucking hands off, right? It's okay to get a little dirt under your nails, right? I have a lot of respect for people that got a little dirt under their nails. I mean, I don't want to be around just someone that doesn't do no hygiene. But if you're out there putting some work in, getting caught up in life, you're gonna get a little dirt under your nails. You ain't gotta always be perfect. And we always try to put that out there, right? It's like, everybody's looking for someone real, but then, we need to examine ourselves. How fake are we, right? How many masks are we wearing where we're pretending to be someone we're not? That's madness, right? Yeah, sure, you ladies got to get got to put the color in your hair, can't let the gray show through, got to get the nails did, got to get this did, got to do this surgery, that surgery, this thing did. And it's like, but wait, you want real? The fucking, eyelashes and shit. God, I don't get the eyelashes thing. I see a lot of beautiful women that even if they just had little tiny eyelashes, it'd be so much prettier than this other, what was the dude from Sesame Street, Snuffleupagus? Fuck, man. I'm telling you, dude, man, I just feel that in the future, people are just going to be more focused on authentically being real. Like, it's energy. Energy is what's sexy. Energy is what's attractive, right? And yes, like, I believe the more you invest in yourself, right, the better you will feel about yourself, right? And you may not look younger, but you're going to feel younger. you're going to feel more beautiful. And I do think that it actually does, right? Start to radiate. But again, there has to be balance, right? I know a lot of people that have super strong bodies, but they got fucking weak minds. It's like, yeah, sure, man. You can put in the motivation. You can take the fucking pre-workout, right? And you can go fucking hit the weights. Great, right? But let's go get in that cold water. Oh, hell no, I'm not going to do that. That's fucking crazy. But then again, man, it's shallow. It's surfacey, right? Hitting the weights. And I think that a lot of people say, oh, well, I don't want to hit the weights because that's just superficial. Well, that's bullshit, right? Taking care of your body, resistance training scientifically is proven, right? For you to, especially at a later age in life, to maintain muscle mass, because we start to lose it more and more as you age. So resistance training, definitely the science is there. It's very important. It's a very important thing. Do you got to get all bulky and be picking up 500 fucking pounds all the time? No. But just having a consistent routine of adding resistance training, circuit training into your routine of life is super important and is very beneficial, right? But then I know people that have very strong minds, right? And their bodies look like shit. So that tells me that even though you have a strong mind, you can maybe tolerate a lot, put up with a lot of shit, right? Maybe a big time faith in supernatural things, right? But your body's like shit, right? Then that tells you that there's no balance. And your personal credibility to yourself is to have balance, because there is no fat skeletons, right? There's just a lack of discipline, or there's a lack of knowledge to how harmful the things you're putting into your body are to you, that they impact your health, right? Because if you say you value health, but then you're carrying around all this extra weight, right? Your chances of mortality are increased, because what's number one, right? Number one, heart disease. That's number one killer. Number two is cancer. In a lot of the extra fat cells that we have, a lot of cancer forms in that. Not only just that, but with stress, with the way that we think. And so it's not about having one or the other. It's not about having the healthy body or a healthy mind. It's having both. It's having balance. And again, mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical health. And there's, right? No one wants to take the hit, right? And I'm telling you, I get back to the shadow stuff. It was a huge breakthrough for me, right? When I started to chalk up and account for the dark side of who I am. That's not evil, right? It doesn't mean it's evil. It can be perceived as evil if I've done some bad things that have hurt some people, right? I know that in the greatest and the most purest sense of my heart, anybody that I have hurt, that I knowingly know I hurt, right? I have gone and tried to make amends with those people, right? And I also know that anyone that's ever hurt me, right? Whether they've come and make amends with me, I know that I have forgiven them and I have released them from the hurt and the harm that they have caused me at any point of my life. And that is very empowering. And a lot of you are suffering because someone else has hurt you. I'm going to say that again. Some of you are suffering because someone else hurt you. And you can say it's not your fault. It's not your fault that that person hurt you, right? It's not your fault. The other person hurt you. It's not your fault. But what is your responsibility, right, is to make a decision. Are you going to continue to just be idle and suffering, right, barely surviving in life? Or are you going to find the courage, the strength, the willpower, right, to let go of that was done to you. Accept it, right? Forgive yourself, right? For the mental pain that you've caused yourself by holding on to the hurt. And then also to forgive this person that's hurt you, right? And it's like a broken record. Forgiving someone else isn't saying what they did to you is okay, right? The little child inside of you needs to hear this. The adult protector inside of you needs to hear this. Forgiving someone else that has literally, with intention, bad intentions, harmed you, hurt you, right? Throughout any point of your life, you could have been sexually assaulted as a child. You could have been abused as a child or as an adult, right? You could have been through some pretty horrific stuff, right? We're talking about horrific shit around here. Being raped, right? Being abused, all kinds of stuff, man. Being assaulted, I don't know. There's a lot of bad shit that happens in this world, right? And it fucks us, right? It really messes people up that have had to live through those things happening to them, to where they'll carry it around for the rest of their life. And forgiveness just seems to be the last option, right? You want justice. Justice hasn't been served. And even when it is, it's still not good enough. And yet, right, we still hold on to like this time capsule. We put ourselves in a time capsule that is whatever that violation is. And we stay there, right? And we stay stuck there emotionally. Some people for the rest of their life, because they just can't understand why God, why life, why that had to happen to them, right? And if you truly have to know why, you're probably never going to figure it out. The answer is probably never going to actually be crystal clear. In my own experiences, the way I find peace and healing and forgiveness is just knowing that there is something greater than this life, than this body, right? Whatever's happened to it, right? This is not the end. There is something beyond this, right? This could have been, there's part of me that does believe, right? That I've lived hundreds, if not thousands of lives. I don't know. I don't know that to be fact. I can't prove that. There's just something inside of me, and through some of the experience I've been through, that this ain't one and done. This, it is like this psychological game we're playing, right? It's like an avatar, right? There's this, our spirit is present here, this conscience. It's present within a body, right? We're animated, right? Through this body, given an ID, right? A name, an ID, and then a whole entire story of caregivers and all this shit. But we die. This body dies. And it doesn't even take a whole lot to die, right? So this body is very, very not nimble. It's very fragile, right? Because it doesn't take a lot to kill a human being. Whether it's an environment, right? If you were to it's crazy. Yesterday, it was like total winter wonderland out here, right? Freezing cold. And today it's like everything's clear blue sky. All the snow melted, like 4 or 5 inches, all gone. But I was having these thoughts yesterday, like, what would the environmental exposure take for someone to die in like extreme heat or extreme cold? It doesn't take a lot, especially without resources, right? A human cannot survive some pretty extreme environmental situations for a very long time. So we have very fragile bodies. So you have to start going inwards and asking yourself, who am I, right? What do I need to do to improve myself? How do I break free from this cycle of emotional pain that I caused myself, that I'm holding myself captive in this time capsule of this trauma that happened to me years and years ago, right? Most of us didn't have the trauma happen last year, last week. I mean, most of us, it's the childhood trauma, right? And even the childhood trauma actually kind of replays itself in our adult life. But if you truly want to heal, you got to get to the origin. The true healing of trauma happens when you get to the origin, meaning the genesis, the beginning of when it happened, when you first felt, fill in the blank, when you first felt violated, when you first felt betrayed, when you first felt terrified, when you first felt unsafe, right? It's in that. And that's really sad because most of those feelings, they come from within our family, right? Our family members are the ones that cause us most of these pains. And yet it's also this like generational lineage passing of the pain baton from one generation to the next. And if you're hearing this message, this is a really, really, really amazing opportunity for you to stop that cycle. Did you hear me? If you're hearing this message, this is a very, very amazing, incredible opportunity for you to stop a generational cycle, right, of passing trauma, pain, hurt from one generation to the next. You could be the one, right? The one to stop passing that. Because maybe you already have passed it. Maybe you are someone that has already, you had the generation before you put the trauma on you. You've already raised some kids. You've already passed the trauma on them. But guess what? If you're hearing this message and you're still alive and your kids are still alive, you can fix that. You can actually go in and start to turn back the hands of time and put an end to this, right? To start breathing life into your family, life into your community, life into the people around you by healing yourself. And again, it takes what? Going into the deepest, darkest part of your soul. And so many of us, we identify darkness as evil, right? The Star Wars, I mean, anything, right? The devil, all this shit, man. It's like darkness is evil. Darkness is scary. We want it to be light and bright all the time. And yet, the darkness is not evil, right? It's where we have hidden all the things that we're embarrassed of, that we're ashamed of, that we feel guilt of, where our losses are, where our hurts are, where our brokenness is, right? Where the times that we were terrified, all of that shit is hidden in the shadow of who we are, the dark side, right? This little closet that we got inside of us. And we're in denial of it because nobody wants to identify themselves as evil. So we totally deny when people even call us out on some of the characteristics that come as a secondary result of this emotional fucking turmoil we have inside of us. And it's not until you integrate, right, the light, the good in you, and also the dark in you, that you can truly be honest and be authentic to yourself, right? And that doesn't mean that you're going to just be like this terrible person. Well, if I admit that I have these thoughts and I have these feelings and I've had these experiences, that I'm not a terrible person, that's not what it's about, right? I feel that I am the most focused, clear, honest, truthful, loving, kind, understanding, compassionate towards myself first, and then towards everyone around me. Now, right? This wasn't, I became this person when I used to preach the word and I used to do all this stuff. I wasn't the man I am now. No way. That was an act. So much of that was an act. Like I was acting. That's the best way to say it. It was a mask. I was like, oh, okay, here's what this guy's doing. I'm just going to imitate that. but I didn't truly even know my inner self. I didn't have an incredible relationship with myself, right? And that's something I have developed over just really since when I woke up at 41, having a marriage expire, saying, who am I? Well, I've gone on that journey. Who am I? Right? Am I just a veteran? Right? Am I just a failure? Am I just a dad? Am I just a ex-husband? Right? Am I just so-and-so's son? Right? Is that who I am? Right? Or am I something else? Right? And it's like none of those roles and responsibilities stick enough for me to say that. So I was sitting in the hot tubs the other day, and this guy looks at me. He's like, I'm talking almost like this kind of conversation. I had a whole captive audience, and everybody's like, whoa, they were loving it. And like, you're a prophet, you're this, you're that, give me all these titles. And this guy looks at me, he's like, who are you? It was a tough question to answer, man. And even in that, I was like, I'm just a different version of you. And I answer that to you too. If you ask me, who are you? I'm a different version of you. I'm a different version of myself, right? Of yourself. Because I believe you're a different version of me. Because I believe there's oneness. There is so much connection. And yet we get caught up, right? We get caught up on all this bullshit, especially with politics. In this country, God, man, we see a politician that's not the right color, not the right team, and we cannot stand these people. And yet they're a part of us. They're a part of you. The more agitated and irritated you are by someone, it's a part of who you are. You have some unresolved emotional issues that is absolutely relatable and connected to that. Oh, but that person's a this and that. Well, guess what? It's in you. If you're judging it, it's in you. And that's a huge measure. That is an absolutely huge measure of growth and healing, is if you're still judging things you see in other people for any reason, whether it's their politics, their sexual preferences, whatever the hell it is, man. If you're judging people, right, based on your perception of what you see, right, it's in you. It is absolutely in you. There's something unresolved in your spirit. You're not just like this detector of who's good and who's bad. No, there is an energetic reflection of self in every person, right? Period. Did you hear that? There is an energetic reflection of every person that you see, right? It exists inside of you. If you think someone's like a dictator and a murderous fucking asshole, right, and you just can't stand the person, all you do is just like send negative energy to that person. One, you're empowering that person, but that negative energy is coming from you as resistance, but there is something locked deep down inside of you that you connect with that person that you're in total denial of. And it's not until you realize that we're all just there's this greater purpose to all things, right? Whether we have good leaders or bad leaders, whether they're making good decisions or bad decisions, right? It's all connected. And the more emotionally moved we become by these things, right, the less stable we are as human beings within ourselves. And I think that it's almost like an illusion, right? That true growth and transcendence is when you disconnect enough from all the circus, the madness going on around you, right? And then you just really start to reconnect and remagnetize, bring back all your energy, all of this stuff to self. And as you do that, right, you truly start to figure out who you are. And then what other people think, we are so caught up on what other people fucking think, man. I know so many people that will never realize their goals and their dreams because they are worried about what other people think. And you're probably somebody like that. And it's probably hard to hear. Or maybe you know it's true and you just don't really have a way to get through that, right? Well, one of the ways to get through it is listening to you, searching within yourself, reaching out to me, right? If you want some coaching, because you don't have to do this life alone, right? I truly believe the greatest gift from God, right, is life. And the second greatest gift is connection. And so if you're doing this, figuring it out by yourself, but you do need some help, reach out, find somebody, right? That seems to be on a path, right? That you're attracted to, that is like, oh shit, this feels real. This feels authentic. And they're not going to ask you to do all kinds of weird bullshit, man. Because it doesn't take weird bullshit, right? True healing, right? It's a journey of self. And I hope that you'll get through the madness, right? To be able to give yourself permission to heal, to grow, to forgive, right? And to strive towards the potential that is inside of you. To get past the limiting beliefs that you're too old, you're too out of shape, you got too many health issues. Because if you're telling yourself any of those, guess what? You're right. You're too old. If you tell yourself you're too old, you're right. If you tell yourself, I can do this, you're also right. If you tell yourself, I used to say I was old, but now I feel I have been taking care of myself for 6 months, better nutrition, becoming more active, right? Getting therapy, doing new things. And I feel great. And I can't believe that 6 months ago, I was telling myself I'm old, but I feel younger. I feel more energetic. I feel more focused. I have less brain fog. I feel like I don't have to sit on the couch all fucking weekend watching other motherfuckers work. I can get up and go do stuff. Right? Because that was me. I thought I was going to die in my 30s. I'm like, shit. I hit the pinnacle of life. I had a business, right? I had investment properties. You know, the economy collapsed, lost everything. Time to rebuild, but now I'm raising kids. So guess what? I get it. This is life. I'm raising kids now. I'm in my 30s. It's all downhill from here. Dad bought all this shit. No energy to play with my kids, to do stuff with my kids. And yet it was all a lie. Because I feel 20 years younger. I don't care if I look 20 years younger. I'm very, very, very confident with myself, right? But it's how I feel. And how you feel about me will not impact how I feel about myself. And that is a beautiful place to be. And that's a place you deserve to be. But you got to put in the work. You can't just pretend. And it's going to be uncomfortable because what I do, which is really doing life for me first and then pouring out of the abundance towards everyone around me, the people that know me the most, probably my 2 kids, you go ask them, man, is your dad better or worse than then? God. Is your dad better or worse than a year ago? Is your dad better or worse than 2 years ago? Is your dad better off or worse off than 4 months ago? Right? These kids are going to tell you from the innocence of their objective perspective, not because they've been programmed to tell a lie. I guarantee it, man. They're going to say, dude, our dad, he's just constantly getting better and better and better. He's becoming a better human being. He's making us feel better about ourselves and turning back the hands of time. And yet we somehow think that we can't do that, that you're not good enough, you're not worthy of it. And that's bullshit. This is a self-rescue mission. This life is self-rescue. You're on an island, right? With you, yourself, and you. It's all in your fucking head. All of your problems, all of your worries, all of these things. I don't care if your problems are financial problems. I don't care if your problems are health problems. I don't care if your problems are nutritional problems, are environmental problems. Whatever the fuck your problems are, I don't care if your problems are political problems, are social issue problems. It's all in your head, and you have all the tools you need to solve the problems inside of you. All of your solutions to the problems that you got are inside of you. Most of the problems you got, you need to hit Control Alt Delete. I'm not worrying about that no more because it's a waste of my energy. I'm not going to give my energy to political problems. I'm not going to give my energy to dumb social issues, right? Because I improve the world as I improve myself, not the more I think about social issues. The more that I show up to protest social issues, the more I fucking blast motherfuckers on social media complaining about social issues. That does not improve your world. You improve the world by improving yourself, by raising your vibration, by expanding the energy that you are projecting into this world. That alone shifts and changes the reality of everyone else on this planet. And yet we all want someone else to be the person that carries the fucking weight to solve the problems. You got social issue problems, it's your politicians. And if it's the wrong politicians in, then it's not those politicians, it's the other ones we need to put in. And none of these problems get solved. So what your real problems are not the social problems, they're the inner problems. The mental problems, the emotional problems, the spiritual problems, and the physical problems you got. That's what you can control. You feeling me? I'm feeling fired up, man. Right? I'm feeling fired up for another day of life. Like I said, I'm going to go do some fun things for me. Last thing I'm going to do is sit around just fucking vegging out with no energy, no motivation, right? I'm going to go out there into the world and I'm going to go do some beautiful things. I'm going to invest in me. I'm going to invest in my property. Right. And I'm going to continue to just allow for life to connect me with people, to have amazing conversations, look for opportunities to do things differently from yesterday, right? To improve, because no one's perfect, right? It's not about perfection unless you define perfection as it is perfectly as it is, right? That you can't sit there in depression wishing all this shit would have been different. Trust me, I wish I never had to fucking post a picture of me looking like that. I wish, man. I fucking wish. Oh shit, it exists. Oh shit, that means it happened. But oh shit, I did something about it. I did a lot of things about it because I wasn't happy about that. I wasn't okay with it. And I knew I was a better man. I knew there was something better inside of me. And I knew that I had the power to change and change for the good and change for real and change for fucking a lasting difference in my life. Because any of y'all can see that and be like, what the fuck? And go into judgment mode, Google my ass, whatever the fuck you want to do. I've had to live this life. I know what got me there, and I know what's got me out. And whether you want to continue to look back even on parts of your own life and define you by the failures and the fuck ups and the hurts and the harms and the pains and the loss and the guilt and the embarrassment of the shit that's happened to you throughout your life, right? It's not empowering. You got to somehow say that the sum total has all been for you. Right? That you've had to experience these things to give you a perspective so that maybe you're like me, right? Would I have this powerful of a conviction and a message if I didn't go through any hardships, if I wasn't fucking someone that's been through a lot of fucking trials and tribulations and suffering and all kinds of shit, and yet still chose to move forward instead of hit delete on my own life? And trust me, I've had plenty of dark nights of the soul where I'm like, dude, I do not want to do this no more. This is fucked. It's too hard. But yet something got me through. And something's gotten you through if you're here listening to this message now. And I hope that you don't just hear it, but you say, you know what? He's right. There's something about what he's saying, and I'm ready. I want to do this, and I'm going to take action. Because that's the thing. You can't just think yourself to better health. You can't just think yourself to prosperity. You can't think yourself to healing all the trauma and the shit you've been through. right? Changing the thoughts of those things, redefining what health is, redefining what success is, redefining, right, what some of the things that you've been through that have caused you a ton of pain, right? What that means to you is what you need to do. It starts there. But then you got to take the action and build new habits for health, for wellness, for living. That's what's scrolling. Like, if you're new to this show, if you've been like, what is all this shit on the bottom of the screen? How do you fill your cup every day? Every single day, you guys. You can hear I'm listening. There's some chill music in the background. I'd rather listen to that than watch other motherfuckers work. This music, even at this frequency, this is frequency music. It challenges me because it causes me and my energy to just mellow out a little bit, slow down. It's hard for me to fucking just like downshift in gears and just be still. To allow just myself to listen. And that's what I love about the ranch so much, is because there's so much space. There's plenty of isolation, but it's still close to places that I want to go, to other people. But there's isolation out here to where it's like there's solitude. And I got to listen to my heartbeat. I got to listen to my lungs breathe. And then I start getting some clarity on what are all these crazy fucking thoughts in my head? Where are they coming from? Right? Is it the little devil? Right? Is it the devil? Right? Or is it just my trauma? Is it just the inner child that's afraid, that's scared, right? That wants some attention and deserves the attention and the nurturing to say, hey, we've been through a lot of shit. It's okay to feel this way. It's okay to have these thoughts. But look, it's going to be okay. We're going to get through this and we're going to do it together. These are conversations I have with myself. These are conversations you start having with yourself. And if you need some help, reach the fuck out. I'm here for you, right? But know that you got to want it, right? Whatever it is, right? You got to want it. And if you're sitting there saying, well, I didn't want this life, well, you do need to take ownership, 100%, knowing that the life you have, I don't care if you were abused for 100 fucking years, right? Some of the shit you're going through is probably from previous lives, but you don't want to hear that either, do you? And it's not that I don't care that it's 100 years. It's just that I don't care to hear you say, well, I didn't want this life, and then act as if you can't do anything to fucking make it better. It's that mentality, because I do care enough. That's why I keep getting back on this and talking from my heart. I'm not rehearsed. Here I am over an hour. This is my time. My time is very fucking precious. My time is valuable. And yet this message is at the top, right, of the value chart of what I do on this planet. Because I've told you guys this before. If I was given 1 week to live, right, I would be getting on here probably multiple times a day, because I would be wanting to share as many thoughts, as much as I could before I was ready to depart. If you only had 1 week to live, what would you switch up? Why don't you think on that today? Would you be like, fuck, I don't want to miss 1 second of the next fucking week of sports? Is that what you'd be doing? If you had 1 week to live, would you be like, holy shit, I'm going to watch all the championship years of my favorite team. I'm going to replay them, whether it's 50 years ago, 20, I'm going to watch every single one of the plays from every game of the championship season of my favorite fucking team. That's what I'm going to do for the last week of my life. What would you do if this was the last week of your life, right? What would you change up? What would you switch? Because you don't know. This could be the last week of your life. I don't want to be morbid, but I will finish with this. 186,000 people died last night. You're not one of them. You are not guaranteed fucking life. And we say that so passive. No one's promised tomorrow. No one's promised tomorrow. It's fucking true as a motherfucker. People that have heard this message today, that have listened to my message this year, they may not make it to next year. It's a fact of life, including myself. So take advantage of it. Truly fucking tell yourself, what would I do if I had 1 week to live? What would I do differently? Would I still be doing this shit job? Would I fucking be wasting my time sitting on the couch watching all the TV? Would I just eat all this junk food? Would that be the thing that gets me through it? Because you got to get real with yourself and realize that you don't have to live a shitty life if that's how you feel right now. Challenge yourself. Embrace challenge. Take yourself to the next level, because you know the drill, motherfuckers. Results kill excuses. It's all on me.